Lab Rat is a lost episode, literally and such. In fact, there are 7 of these. Cartoon Network ended the original run back in 2006 without airing these episodes properly on TV. Instead, airing them online through CartoonNetwork.com instead. But Code Lyoko's full 95 episode order would not be aired on a television source until 2008 when the Kabillion Online on demand channel that you can find through your cable services and such were the first to air the order in total completion. In fact, when the episode of today's video, Lab Rat, was first aired, they advertised it severely over the Kabillion channel through advertisements in other on demand shows on the service and outwardly. This, combined with others, finally completed the order, and you can even add Quest for Infinity and Fall of Xana, 2 of the Code Lyoko video games, properly in the episode order. Why? Because they're canonical and they fit. So technically, there are 9 lost episodes of this series. If you add the extended media, that is. Outside of that, Lab Rat marks the first of these. Truth be told, Lab Rat should have been episode 73, and Replica should have been up here at set. Replica should have been up at 78. The 2 episodes should have been flipped. Why? Because Lab Rat introduces the idea of teleportation through Spectre and before actually being used properly here. So yes, the 2 episodes feel weird because of their disjoint in the episode order. These 2 should have essentially followed, for the most part, back to back. Episode 73 and episode 74 should have been these 2 together to make the canonical connection, but sadly, they were not. Instead, they are here. Lab Rat's real world plot is essentially nothing. There is there is something going on. It sort of matters, but really it doesn't. Oric forgot Yumi's birthday. Yumi is pissed, as per the usual. Yumi tries to apologize. Things go the way you expected. Ho hum. It's in Lyoko where the episode gets interesting because of Jeremy's experimental run. And it creates something cool. Something we've been wanting since the very beginning of the series, but the staff finally gives it to us here. The Lyokian forms in 2D, alongside, even later on, some other Lyoko monsters back in the newly refreshed 2D. Why? To destroy the replicas from episode 73, powered by separate Xana supercomputers. In order to do this, they must find the supercomputer and, like a Metal Gear mission, blow it up. The first 2 that take on this trip will be Aelita and Odd. And yes, both forms in 2D, especially Aelita's, really popped off screen. And through this 2D model, you can truly get a sense of her height too. She's about 5'4". Mm. And this is without the added wings or elevation. Unfortunately, the wings aren't used here, but the energy fields are. Sadly, the 3D effect for the energy fields themselves are much better looking than the 2D ones, but at least they're there. Meanwhile, Yumi and Odd are bickering, well, they won't they, have to protect the skid from all matters of monster and ultimately, as you guessed it, William. Unfortunately, they are unsuccessful in their task, which cuts the mission short for a later episode to finally do the deed. But unfortunately, this time they do not. The replica lab scenes were the best scenes in this episode, with Xana's tarantulas taking on a more useful reality, plus Spectre scientist, typical Odd Aelita bicker, in which Odd ended up right after all. His sense of direction is not like Zoro's, thankfully. And everything turns out, for the most part, other than mission failed, correctly. This is really a showcase of what Code Lyoko's artists and staff could do at this point. The fact that the two episodes, Replica and Lab Rat, did not air back to back, unlike our reviews here, because of a little mistake on my end. Strangely, it works out in the end because I get to review them as I think they were originally produced, back to back. This is a 5 out of 6 episode. Ignore the real world stuff completely. It's more Oric and Yumi garbage that could rather be chucked into a blender. Everything that has to do with Lyoko, the skid, and the 2D lab mission is what totally sells this episode. Thankfully, you'll get to see the other two in 2D form sooner rather than later, which also breeds something rather cool. So, until next Monday, I'm peace and nirvana.